Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Board States Pod. I am your host, the Royal Reggie, joined by Jazz with some pizzazz, and we are being a little excited today because we're getting to talk about some of our favorite games of all time, our top 10 to be precise. And today, for the main topic, we will focus on numbers 10 through 6. So really excited about that. Before we get started, we've got a state of mind as always. I'm going to do a BGG top list trivia here. So as I always like to do, a BGG grab bag. So I call it the BGG GB. When I was growing up, I feel like there was so much grab bag trivia in like the 90s and 2000s. It's an unused term. Sporkle has it. So we're doing just miscellaneous BGG trivia. We'll do our main topic, each of us going through 10 down to 6. And next episode, for episode 10, we will do our top 5 games from the top 10, which is great. And for En La Mesa, instead today, we're going to talk about 2 games each that we predict might come onto our top 10s down the line. They just didn't make it this year. So we'll touch on those. I won't spoil those till we get there, so you'll have to stick around to hear that. So, Jazz, are you ready for a State of Mind BGG GB?
Oh, I'm ready. I hope I do a lot better than the last episode. But listen, yeah. I'm a little hungry right now, Reg, so I want to know what I am playing for.
Oh, you already know you are playing for pasteles. Ooh. This is a traditional Latin American dish. It's not just Puerto Rico, because Dominican Republic, they do this all the time. They're very similar to like tamales, kind of like for the holiday season, but they're made of usually root vegetables, things like taro, green bananas, plantains, all those things. They always have some seasoned meat. You might have seasoned this with your sazon packets from last episode as well.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's what you'll be playing for. There are 3 questions here. So I would love to see how you do. Let's just get right into it because we've got a lot of games to talk about, and I want our dearest gentle listeners to be able to play along, and I think they will today. So, three questions for you here. I focused on top stuff. You know, we love ranking and we love tier lists. Like some people out there, it stresses them out. It's not for them. Some people are in our camp that love this. It's totally your thing, whatever. Some people think it's an affront to board games to do this. I will just say there's just something about it. I love it when it comes to movies. I love my Letterboxd top 4. Like, I just love ranking things. So the BGG top 100 is the premier list that we have right now. Does it mean that it is the end-all be-all? No, not at all. But today, for the first question, I wanted to look at the top 100. Okay, there's no way you can find this out while answering the question either. So I'm very curious if you can do this. Which of these has not been in the number 1 spot on the top 100 BGG? Okay,
Ooh,
4 games. Which of them has not ever been number 1? Again, I used just my Board Game Geek Googling, and I had to do a little bit of research to find this out. So if it's wrong, please send us an email at boardstatespod@gmail.com. Okay, the 4 games are Twilight Struggle, Puerto Rico, Twilight Imperium, and Tigris and Euphrates. Of those 4 games, which one do you believe has not been number 1 on the BGG top 100?
I remember early looking at the BGG list, seeing Twilight Struggle, Puerto Rico, who held that spot for quite some time, and Twilight Imperium in the 1. So I am going to go Tigris and Euphrates, our dear friend Reiner Knizia.
The best of the best. It is actually Twilight Imperium.
Wow.
No, Twilight Imperium.
Okay.
Wow. Tigris and Euphrates was in 2002 and 2003 did have a slot, according to a Board Game Geek user. Thank you, BGG user. They went back and tracked all the data. which is crazy because, you know, I love my boy, the one and only good doctor, Reiner Knizia. He does not have a single game in the BGG Top 100, which again should also prove to you that this list doesn't mean much. But his highest ranked game is usually Quest for El Dorado at like 120 something, and Tigris and Euphrates usually after that. So that's just one thing, like right there. The Knizia, the good doctor himself, 700 plus games. He doesn't have a game in the top 100. So, you know, there's that. Okay, great. Two more. These are lists I check every year because I love rankings and I love these things. There is a user on BGG. I'm actually going to open it up just so I can just tell you here. His name is Vitus979, Vitus 979. He does a meta compilation all the reviewers out there, except for Jazz and I guess we're not good enough. We're not on here, but we don't usually do top 10s for the year. So it's like their best of 2025 has not come out yet. So I wanted to do his best of 2024. So this is a few years ago, or a year ago. Now that's 2026, but yeah, basically last December, not the most recent one. They have over 30 or 40, wow, it looks like maybe 50 plus reviewers put in their 10s. They aggregate it, and they, based on how many times it appears and based on how high it appears on the list, they come up with an aggregated meta compilation list, okay? So I'm gonna read for you the top 5 in no particular order, and I want you to order the best 5 games according to the masses, the mass reviewers from 2024. Are you prepared? Okay.
I like this question. And listen,
yeah.
I'm very disappointed because I love pasteles and I'm depleted right now on pasteles.
You're at 0.
It's my favorite holiday treat. Now. So let's go. I'm zoning in.
For each one you get in the right slot, I will let you do. And just like we do with my favorite things, I'll let you do one flip flop if you want. After. Okay. So, the games are in the top 5 slots in no particular order: Harmonies, SETI, Lord of the Rings: Duel for Middle Earth, Arcs, and Let's Go to Japan. Those were the top 5 games according to all the BGG reviewers that were meta compiled, that made lists. What order would you put them in? I'll tell you how many you have in the right slot.
Okay, so I just want to read. So we have Harmonies, SETI, Lord of the Rings, Duel for Middle Earth, Arcs, and Let's Go to Japan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I am going to go with Arcs in the number. Let's Go to Japan in the number 5 slot.
Okay.
SETI in the number 1 slot.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just biased about that pick.
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the Rings: Duel for Middle Earth in the 4. This is where I'm tough because I don't know all of these reviewers that he selected to aggregate.
It's like every reviewer you could think of that has a YouTube channel or a podcast. Okay. Like it's
I'm gonna go with Arcs in the 3. Arcs in the 3 and Harmonies in the 2.
Harmonies in the 2. So you wrote SETI 1, Harmonies 2, Arcs 3, Lord of the Rings 4, and Let's Go to Japan 5. Okay, so let me double check here. Yes, you have you said Let's Go to Japan 5, yeah. You have only 1 correct. You have 1 in the right slot, so I'll let you make 1 flip-flop.
Okay.
That's 1 pastele right there. But you could mess it up. You could go from 1 to 0.
I know. I
think you could mess it up. I think you could fix it, yeah.
I'm going to flip-flop SETI and Harmonies.
SETI and Harmonies. I think that is a very good choice. So you have now put Harmonies at 1, SETI at 2, Arcs at 3, Lord of the Rings: Duel for Middle Earth at 4, and Let's Go to Japan at 5. So you ended up with 2 pasteles correct. You got the 1 and the 5 correct. Harmonies was the number 1 meta reviewed game by all the reviewers because it appeared on so many lists and on like 6 or 7 different people's number 1 on their top 10.
Wow.
So 77 reviewers had it on their list. Number 2 was Arcs, where 71 reviewers had that on there. Yep. Number 3 was SETI, so it wasn't as big as. And I think it's just it came out late in the year, and it's a heavy game, so it was tough for people to get on at this point. I think it'll have more staying power in my opinion than like SETI's great. We've talked about that. Lord of the Rings: Duel for Middle Earth was 4, and you did get Let's Go to Japan correct. That was the biggest surprise to me. I love that game. I think it's great. My buddy Phil has it, but being number 5 was awesome. Yeah, that's just great. It was Jamie Stagmeyer's favorite game of 2024. Wow.
So does that hold up? Does that put me at 3 correct?
You got Let's Go to? Did you say Lord of the Rings at 4
on the flip flop? Yeah.
You did. You're right. You have 3. You have 3 correct.
Listen, don't jip me out on my pateles, okay?
Yeah, get 3.
I have my hot sauce and my ketchup ready, okay, and they're ready to go on. Let's go.
I know. That is one of those things where it's like, there's all these different things, and, very proud of my Puerto Rican culture. I put hot Crystal. Like a lot of people in Black culture, we like Crystal or Tabasco, but I love Cholula. Cholula, and that's a Mexican sauce, but Cholula is my hot sauce, so I put that on like everything too. All right, I love that. That was great. Okay, and we got one more, and this is my favorite list and I'm obsessed with this list, and I think you are at a disadvantage a little bit here.
Okay.
Because it is the top solo games list. This is by the group that does this. It's like Kevin Erskine does it. They do a People's Choice Award. A lot of our friends do it. I think on the list it's like Thinker Themer, will sometime be on it. The One Stop Co-op Shop guys, they'll help out. So they aggregate this. It's the One Player Guild is what it's called. It's a guild on Board Game Geek. I'm a part of that. It's so cool what they do. Yeah, don't look it up because you'll spoil it here. You'll spoil your answers here for you. But what I'm going to do, since we're on number 10 here, is I'm going to give you the number 10 game.
Okay.
On this list from 2024. Again, they have not come up with the 2025 yet. But when they vote, these are games from all time,
Gotcha.
Number 10 was Ark Nova, one of my beloved games, they're the number 10 most voted on People's Choice favorite solo game. There are 9 games above it. Can you name anyone? And if you get it right, I'll let you just keep going and you can just name some. So these are big, popular games that are played at solo. There are 9. You have 9 chances to get it right out of, only 30,000 games. Not every game has solo. But so if you can get one, if you get one right, keep going. We'll push your luck and get as many as you can.
Solo
Ark
Nova
games,
being 1.
Ark Nova being number 10. So anything above
number
it
10
in the list. Yeah, it's at number 10. So anything from 9 to 1.
I'm gonna put Terraforming Mars up there.
Terraforming
I know people
Mars.
love.
That is true. It is not
Wow.
on the 2024 list. It is not in the top 10.
Okay.
It's 15. So
Okay.
you know what? I'll keep going. It's on the list. So that's 15.
I'm really bad at this one. I can't even.
No,
you know
that's
me. I'm
great.
not a
You'll be
solo
able to get it.
person.
That's a big game. I know.
Does Castles play does have a solo mode? I
Castles
would say
also plays
Castles
solo.
of
That's a great
Burgundy.
one.
I know how it's beloved it is. I'm gonna
It is
say
very
that.
beloved. That is a great one. It is. I know it is not it's not above it, but I think it is on the list at number. I'm trying to find it here. It is at number 64. Wow. That's lower than I would think it is. Okay, keep going. I'll give you
no idea. Let's just go with one of the Gloomhaven.
one more. Yeah, go.
People play Gloomhaven. All right, let's go with that.
I think you're correct. Gloomhaven is number. Wait. Oh, Gloomhaven's number 11. So you're right there. You're right.
Okay.
That is number 11 on the list. That's right there.
I'm
okay,
interested to see what these games are.
I'll go from the bottom up, and again, I think there's a lot of solo gamers out there. Maybe you're listening. If you're a dearest gentle listener, the DGLs as we call them. Let's hear. So Imperium Classics, which we have talked about Imperium. I really want to play Horizons as Puerto Rican men. The Taino people are a civilization you can play as in Imperium Horizons, and it is one of the highest games on my list to play. It is one of the most complicated games out there, especially solo. So just know that's what's buried for me. Number 8 is Dune Imperium. Of course, it's got a great solo mode. At least the Uprising version I have has a really cool solo mode. Number 7 is a solo-only game, horror-themed, with a woman on the front.
Oh, Final Girl. How did
Final Girl is number 7. Yeah,
Sorry,
that's a big one.
People. I completely forgot that. I used to have it
Lord
in my
of the Rings,
collection
the card game.
Okay.
Too Many Bones, which I've never played Too Many Bones. I think that's number 5.
Okay.
Number 4 is also a living card game, Arkham Horror, the card game.
Gotcha.
And number 3, my personal favorite solo game to play, Marvel Champions, the card game, so all 3 living card games are in the top 10. It's insane. Number 2, I've never played. So many years. It's had 11 years in the top 100 for BGG. It is Mage Knight Ultimate Edition. I've never played Mage Knight either, but man, that's a cool looking game. And the number 1 most beloved solo game is Spirit Island.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's a fun list. If you want to check it out, I'll send Jazz the link. We'll put it in the description because I love looking at this. It makes me very happy. Obsession's on there for Northwood, Hadrian's Wall. There's so many great solo games. So those are our things. So I will give you 1 pastele for getting 3 that were on the list. You got to get 1, even though they were under 10. You got to get 1 there. So your total pastele count for January is 3. You got 3, 4 total. So
okay.
enjoy.
Listen,
That's a
do
good.
it.
That's a good helping. That's a good helping.
That's a good helping. Yes.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so we're just going to go for it. We're just going to talk. I mean, we're going to try not to gush. I mean, we love these games.
Let's do the dang thing.
We're going to just talk about just quick, generally overview what the game does, like very quickly, and just why we love it, designer and everything, if we need to, whatever we want to highlight. And Jazz will be starting with his number 10. I'm so excited. Let's go for it. Let's see what, I hope we have one. I'm going to bet we have one crossover at least in our whole top 10. What do you think?
I hope we have at least one crossover.
Yeah.
I think we do have at least
I'm
one.
going to go two.
Okay.
I'm going to go with two. Yep.
I'm going to say one.
Okay, you go one, I go two. Great. Your price is riding me. Okay. Cool,
all right.
Cool. Yeah.
So this game, okay, let me just first preface like how I come up with my list. Like I don't do a lot of like
thank you. Good
my top 10 of all time, top 50 of all time. That's not something I do because for me, my list, I would say it is ever changing. Listeners know I say, they probably already know my number one, so they're probably interested to know what my other other 9 are. But for me, I created a top 10 list years ago. Probably 3 years ago, I did the Pub Meeple thing, and I put every game in my collection, every game that I've ever played, and I'd spent how long it took to come up with my list. I have not done that ever since. This time, I didn't really do that so much. I looked at that list. I looked at the other games that I've in my collection that I've added and have played that I know are games that I gravitate to, and then I saw what would look, and I kind of just Pub Meeple that just myself looking at it. Okay, I would play this over this over that, this over, and I kind of just went over it. This is probably not this meta list or what it should be. If I probably put it in Pub Meeple, it might flip flop, but I honestly think it would flip flop on any day of the week just because of what I feel like, what awesome. I feel like playing. But I went with games that right now, these are the games as of today, I would want to play the most if you asked me.
And I went the same way. I'll just do mine quick so that we can keep the timestamps good here. For you DGLs, you could just go right to number 10 right after this. My methodology, I do use Pub Meeple, but I just did this about 8-9 months ago. I did it in March of 2025. So I did this last year. So just know that only 2 games have changed on there. So if you are following me on YouTube, you might know this. And so I'm excited to share that. But I go through Pub Meeple. What I did is I had my top 25 that I had from last year. And then I threw about 10 more games that I think I really like. And I did a full Pub Meeple of like 30 plus games. And that's what I came up with. And I did kind of try to go with it. Like my list hasn't changed that much. Especially my top 3. It's really hard to break that. I want to do some sort of Hall of Fame or legacy thing where I'm like, here's a trophy case of my favorite games. I don't think these are going to change. And every year I'll do new ones in the top 10. But for this list today, I did go through the Pub Meeple and I looked at the 2 games and I said, what do I want to play more right this second? If it was a really tough call, like which one would I want to play, which is exactly what Jazz did. So I think we kind of approached it very similarly.
Yeah.
So go for your number 10, Jazz. I'm very excited.
Yeah. I would say about 4 games have dropped out of this list, which I was surprised for that, to be honest. And again, they might jump back in tomorrow. We'll see. But my number 10 is a game from Oink Games that I was surprised to see on this list at all. And this is not in their small box line. This is in their larger box line. And for those that know me, I love my dominoes. Okay? This is part of my Puerto Rican culture. And this is a game that I would pull out and teach to someone who is my Puerto Rican family who just loves dominoes, and I would want to introduce to the board gaming hobby. This is Tiger and Dragon from Oink Games. Yes, I know it is not that well known. It was a 2021 release. I think it came to the States in 2023, if I remember correctly, at Gen Con. And when I heard about it, I looked into it and I said, I need to add this to my collection. I had a friend who went to Gen Con that year and picked this up. And man, just like dominoes, if you're at a family function, a Puerto Rican family function or a party, and they hit the table party starts at 5 o'clock in the evening, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and there are still people at the domino table. This game I have played for probably 3 hours straight. Hand after hand after hand after hand.
And it's a 20-minute playing time.
And it's 20 minutes. I'm not gonna lie.
That's awesome.
It is that good. And people like we take our counting of dominoes, like counting cards, like very seriously. And this is a game that it got super competitive. It is a fun, just little tile game where you are laying out a card and you're trying to figure out, you're trying to score points by being the person who plays out their domino, their little tile last. And depending on what that tile is it going to allow you to score your points based on the numerical number. So there's the numbers are valued 1 through 8 on the tiles. There's one number 1 and there's 8 number 8s, and they're going to get mixed into the center table. People are going to grab those tiles, and then they're going to play these tiles out. And what you're trying to do is, if you play an 8, you're trying to match that with that 8, or you're trying to best that number, or whatever the case may be. And it's there's this like a attack and a defense value. It's so good. The tiger and the dragons are wilds for the even and odd numbers. Yeah, it's such a great game. I think people need to play this game more. It plays up to, I believe it's 5 players, but I played it at every single player count, 2 to 5, and it is great every single time. If you want a head-to-head dueling game that you really gets intense, check out Tiger and Dragon.
Wow, man, you are surprising me. I'm sold first and foremost. By the way, I love dominoes. I love the tiles. I think it's so cool because it really reminds me of like mahjong-looking tiles.
It does. They do.
Yeah, and that's such a cool cross-cultural thing. It's like Asia and like Latin America and America. Like the dominoes and the mahjong tiles look so similar. That's so cool.
And I want to just preface this right now. Right now, I don't know when people listen to it, or what do you call in here in the United States, Barnes and Noble has their like 25% sale, right? And they're probably not going to, this is going to be after that. But yeah. I saw someone post this as a $5 pickup at Barnes and Noble plus an additional 25% off. I bought this at full price when it came out, and I've probably got more than my money's worth already plays out of this. If it was $5, I would have probably wiped out Barnes and Noble with this game because I've played it so much.
Wow, you have completely sold me. I'm so excited. I love Oink games. I have 6 games, and like Durian, you might have seen on my story recently. Yes. I've been playing that a lot in the holiday season with because it goes up to 7. But Scout is my highest Oink game, and that's about 19. So just missed. And so we'll talk about it. No spoilers, but I have to say, you're an OG here with it's a weight of 1.3.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to have the lightest game on here. My lightest game is a 1.8. So on my top 10s, and we'll talk about it today in this episode. Okay. Wow. Good for you. That's incredible. Great choice. Mine is also a little bit of a sleeper pick. I think I have 2 on my entire list that are games I champion. I would probably say Tiger and Dragon for sure is in that boat where for you, in terms of popularity and everything. My number 10 is the Phil Walker Harding Egyptian-themed Imhotep.
Great game.
And I just love it. I think it is truly a masterpiece. I think it is his best design. I've played a lot of Phil Walker Harding's. I have not played all of them, so it's the best design of his that I've played, and I've played a lot of them. I am a big fan of him. I just think it's such a great game, and I just love talking about the story of how I came up to play this. It's been in my collection for a long time. I'll never get rid of it. And it's about a 2.0 on there, so it's a little on the lighter side. But what I loved about it was when I started playing board games, my number 11 game was King Domino, by the way. It got pushed out. My gateway game is King Domino. I just want to throw that out there. It's not in my top 10 anymore currently. But King Domino, it still kind of feels like multiplayer solitaire. So do a lot of the other games that I was playing at the time. I don't want to name too many because we might talk about them later. There wasn't a lot of interaction. And so I was literally looking for like games that had come out recently. And this came out in 2016, and I was just getting into the hobby right around COVID, 2019, 2020. And so it was like, this game has more interaction. Like you can affect the other players, that there was a real trend at that COVID era of multiplayer solitaire. And how Imhotep works is you have a sled of these big chunky cubes, these stones, these wooden blocks, by the way, which I love them so much. Look it up on BGG if you've never seen this game. And we are trying to build these different monuments in Egypt, and you put the stone on a boat and you put it in one of the 1 or 4 size slot, and then the other option you can have in return is to sail a boat to one of the sites. But the boat does not have to have your stones on it at all. So you can sail other people's stones and completely mess them up. And so that interaction was really cool. But what I love about it, and I've learned I love about a lot of games, Fromage we've talked about recently, is it's got 5 mini games. There are 5 different sites. There's the temple, which is like end of round scoring. There's the obelisk, which is end game scoring. There's the burial chamber, which is kind of like a pattern building area majority one. The pyramids you score instantly for, and they have a side and a B side, so there's a ton of replayability. It's great on Board Game Arena. Plays 2 to 4 players. I really truly love this game. I don't know if it'll. When I really sat down and thought about my lighter games on my list, a couple fell off, but Imhotep just could not fall. I just love this game. Every time I play it, I wish I could play it more, to be honest. But I'm always in a game of it on BGA, so I at least get that itch scratched a little bit. Imhotep, my number 10.
Oh man, I'm sad that I let this game out of my collection. It's that good. Yes, it's one of, you have games that are in your collection. You're like, I wish I would have kept that game and played it more because you've played it later. Yeah, this is one of them. I even had the little play mat that goes with it. It's great pick, Reg.
Oh, and I'll say one more thing about it really quick is on Noble Knight, they have the expansion. It's called New Dynasty. And I have heard, shout out to Paul Solomon on the Decision Space podcast. He loves this game. He's also a champion of Imhotep. And he always says that the expansion makes it so much better. It is one of the hardest to find ones. It is $90 on Noble Knight. Like, it's one of those, and it is on my list. One of these days I will have this expansion somehow. Somebody's going to get it for me, or I'm going to find a deal. I will not be spending $90 on it. But just know that it's one of those sought after things. And I'm playing just the base game, and I love it. At my number 10 game of all time, Imhotep.
Yeah, great pick. My number 9 is a game that's new to this list. It's a game, and listen, I'm not a person that like is heavy on the hype train and I got to play. Yes, I want to play the hype train stuff, but you're not going to see many of these games I would think naturally coming onto this list unless I've played it a good amount of times. And this one I've played a good amount of times. And this is from Leader Games. And I think Reggie knows this. As much as people love Arcs, they love Root. This is one of their lighter games, easier to learn, very fast playing, very interactive. This is the wonderful Ahoy.
Whoa!
What I love about Ahoy is the two different games you're playing, whether you're playing a 2-player game, a 3-player game, 4-player game, where you have that area control between the Mollusk Union and the Bluefin Squadron game, and again, asymmetric player powers, the way things are going. And then when you add in that 3 and 4-player game and you're adding in those smugglers and they're playing a completely different pickup and delivery style game, but the card play amongst all 3 players and the cards act differently based on same cards that you're picking up, but dependent on what your faction is, those cards will, they'll be different for you. But man, I keep thinking about this game every time. Like anytime I talk about this game, I think about I want to play it because every game is tense, it's tight, and you look at the scores and you're like, okay, someone's in this, seems like a runaway lead, and then they flip a tile and they're closer to that area of the board, and now you're worried about now they can kind of control this side of the map, and you're going to figure out how can I get over there? If I don't get the dice rolls to get over there, what do I have to mitigate? It's such a great game. If you have played Root, I don't know, if you have played Root and you're like, I just want to play Root lighter, or if you've played Root and if you want to play Root lighter, or you're someone who's played Root and you were turned off because it was just too complex, you couldn't grasp the rules, you didn't have the game group to play it or dedicate the time to it, please give Ahoy a chance because the design is so incredible. It takes the DNA of what Root is and it puts it into a quicker package that still packs a punch. So yes, I would go with Ahoy as my number 9.
Love that. I have not played it enough. We've played it together on stream. We've played it turn-based with your buddies, which has been really great. I'm surprised to hear it on it. I think it's great. I love the art. I have everything for it as well. Shout out to Leader Games. I just pulled it out to play with my buddies in a 4-player game day, and we just did not get it to the table. I brought out a buffet of games. Let's be honest.
As we always do.
And so, as we always do, and I'm just like, I know not everything's going to get played. It did not get chosen chosen, but I really want to play it at 4 players with the Fang and Fortune, with the pink and the green, the Leviathan and the Coral Cap. So I'm very excited about that. Wow, that's, man, you are, this guy, man, he's got the cool stuff. Okay, mine's a little more basic. I believe this is, if there's one that I think is a crossover, it's definitely this one. My number 9 is the 2015 one and only Stonemaier game, Viticulture Essential Edition. Okay,
great game.
Great game, and I love it. It is 1 to 6 players. I have just the Essential Edition, published by Stonemaier Games, like we said. The main artist is Beth Sobel. There's also Jackie Davis and David Montgomery. Designed by Jamie Stegmaier and Alan Stone, the namesake of Stonemaier Games, if you never knew. So this game was one that I think we actually got it at my wife's bridal shower. We put a bunch of, normal stuff on there, and I threw one board game on there, and one of our family friends actually got this game for us. And my wife, the queen, and I play this all the time. This is the heaviest game that she enjoys. It's about a 2.9 weight. And we've played it so much. It is one of those games that it's a heavy game that we can play on a weeknight. And I think that is such a great thing about the game, is that it's cozy. We pour ourselves a little Pinot Noir out here in Oregon wine country. We get the game out, and it's relaxing. It's calm. It can feel tense, especially at 2 players. You're just really fighting for it. I think it shines at 3 to 4 players, and actually that's what BGG says. That's what the poll is. But we just still enjoy it as a 2-player game. I still have not even played Tuscany Edition, and I know that makes the game even better. When you were talking about the area majority board on that a few episodes back, so I really want to play that, and I still love this game without even having played all the accoutrement to Viticulture. But just the production, the worker placement, the vibes, it is just something that I really, really enjoy. We do play with the More Visitors expansion, always, which I love. Those are the Uwe Rosenberg design cards. And we do play with a house rule of when you grab vines, green cards, you look at 2 and pick 1. And I think that is a big deal.
That's the best way to play it.
Yeah. I think some people really don't do that. I learned that from the Brothers Murph, and that maybe that's why you don't like it if you don't, but it doesn't matter. I'm not here to convince you to like it or not. This is my 9th favorite game, Viticulture.
Great pick, Reg, and I'm going to just leave it at that because you might see this later on in my list.
Okay.
But my number 8 is a game that, when I first saw this game, we talked about games that thematically give you some table presence, right? Last episode, and this is that game for me. I know some people have talked about there being these I would say combinations in this game that just game breaking, and it can't make it fun for all the people at the table. I don't play games that way. Yes, I play to win, but I also play to just enjoy the experience with the people at the table. But this is from originally Starling Games. Now it's tabletop games or tabletop tycoon games. I don't even know what they're called now. This is the original Everdell. And I have a feeling that some of the newer ones coming out, which I've played for sure. I haven't played Spirecrest, but I believe Spirecrest is on its way from the publisher here, so I'm going to give shout out to that. Silverfrost, yes. Silverfrost. Yes, Spirecrest is one of the expansions. Yep. But yes, Everdell, such a great game, cozy game, awesome table presence, worker placement, which that's my jam, but the tableau building, the going out and foraging for different resources, the squishy berries that this game offers, but creating that tableau and that grid of cards that once you hit that set number, triggers the end game, and how cards combo off of each other, and you're going to score points based off of what you have on those cards, but also the different seasons that you're going to be traveling into, kind of like Viticulture, right, where somebody can be in the next season before you, so that the flow of the game is different for every player. And some people, sometimes you feel like, oh, I got to catch up into that next season, but sometimes oh no, I want to kind of still do what I can do and manage here in the season. Yeah, it's just a great game. If you want to introduce someone to that next step, heavier worker placement or tableau building game, this gives you both, and it's just a good looking game. I think people would probably be more willing to try something heavier just based off of presence alone. Everdell is one worth trying, and I know my buddy Dwayne over at Blackboard Gaming loves this game. But yes, this was higher originally on my list. But yeah, at number 8, Everdell.
That's great. 8, Everdell. It is number 17 on my list currently. I love this game as well. I only have the base game. I'm really excited to try Emerland. I think that one might... Emerland and Silverfrost, but I do think Emerland might be the one. And we've talked about this privately. We were texting. I'm like, this might be the game. I love Everdell. I have a best bud who now lives far away, but Joey, and he has the complete collection. And so every now and then we just play, and we play with 2 different expansions or 4 or the entire, we've done the whole shebang. So it's a great game. I get to play it. It's one of those, every time I play it, I enjoy it. And I think the one big piece I want to mention is how, like what you said about the art and everything, so many people that I meet who find out I'm into gaming and they want to learn about it, and I give them a couple recommendations. So many times people will go to the library or go to their game shop, and newer gamers, they end up with it pretty quick in their collection. It is just so eye-catching. You know, if you've never played a board game before and you walk into a game shop, that is going to draw your attention. It is just a beautiful game. It has a beautiful table presence. So I just want to give it a shout out as for that, as it's just welcoming to people in the hobby.
Yes.
Yeah. So Everdell's great. Wow. I can't even complain about that. All right. My number 8, this is one that is the newest to my list. I have 2 new ones on my list, but this is the newest one to my list for sure. And I just had to be honest with myself. I just love this game. I can't stop playing it. It is 2023, publisher DeVere, in a nice medium-sized box, and that is The White Castle. And it is Isra C. and Shay S. They've done several games together. I don't know if they're, I don't want to slander them, but I think they're a couple. I believe it's like a married couple or something that they do these games together. I don't know, but they did the Red Cathedral before. It's like a $40 game with the Himeji Castle, which, by the way, I have been to in Japan. I went in 2017, love it.
Oh, nice.
I'm learning, like, this is my Euro. Like, if I want a resource management game with tight turns, where I feel like I have to collect these resources to do this, to combo this, to do that, maximum efficiency, this is the one I go to. It just keeps hitting the table. It's so easy to put away. It's so easy to travel with. You know, so many of my big Euros, I can't move around. You know, it's like even one of my favorite games of all, my big boxes over here, you know, Castles of Burgundy, Wingspan, I've got them in giant coffin-sized boxes. White Castle, I can throw in a tote bag and go with me. The dice worker placement is so cool and so unique. I don't think I've ever seen it in another game before. I did a beginner budget collection on Chaz's channel, Game Night Picks, recently, and I had to put it in the collection again, just for the price, for the value, for the Euro, for the time. I mean, it is like 80 minutes, you know, on average. I've definitely played 2-player games in an hour, 45 minutes, and I love that about it. It's about a 3.05 weight on BGG. It feels so good. They have a new dual version, which I got gifted to me. Shout out to my buddy Garrett for Christmas. That's really cool. I played that with my wife. And so I don't know. It's one of those games where I'm like, I don't want to be like, I love this game. It's just, I don't know why I don't want to say that. It's not a big, heavy game. It's not like, it doesn't do anything flashy. It just does what it does so well in such a compact package. And every time I play it, I have a great time. I love it. That is White Castle.
This is a great pick. This was my number 1 game of 2023. Wow. It's so good. Like you said, what I like is I like games that when you play, the turns are so, every turn is very important because you have I think this is 12 turns in this game.
9 total turns in the base game,
have.
And with Matcha it's 12. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even mention that. That's a big thing.
And you try to maximize what you can do in those 9 turns. And I know that every time that I've played this, I get done playing it. I have to play it again. Like, I have to figure out. I love when a game can do that, right? No matter how heavy or light that game is, but when you're done playing that game, you are ready to play it again. You may not have the time to want to play it again, but you're ready. You're thinking about it. You're going onto your next game night thinking about, are you going to hit this one back to the table? But yes, White Castle is up there. I can see it climbing for me as well. I have it right now at 13 on my list.
Okay,
so I have it very, very high
10.
up. Yes,
okay.
I just need more plays of it.
And I'll just say one more thing about it is that I'm not someone who's like every new Euro game I want to go try. So I want to say if you don't love Euro games, but you like, if it's not like something you might want like this. And also, it is also good for people who love big Euro games because it does that same thing in a smaller package. So it's kind of just like it's such a wide appeal. It has climbed in the top. It's like number 77 in the top 100, which is awesome for a recent game. I think it's had a lot of staying power, and I really appreciate about it. So, yep, the White Castle is my number 8.
Awesome. My next game on this list is probably my next lightest game on this list. And this game may not be the best in this genre to do it. I might honestly think there's probably games that are better in this genre, which is trick taking. But this is the one I want to play all the time. This is the one I want to teach everybody.
Trick taking.
This is the one that I want to, is my go-to. I carry it with me all the time. This is from Grandpa Beck's Games, and this is Skulking. 2 to 8 players. I don't know what there is to say about this game, but
yo ho ho, that's all I gotta say.
But the idea of, if you come from a spades background and you enjoyed playing spades, and your family, this is the idea of bidding for those tricks or those books that you're trying to get. But every round the game ramps up, where round 1 you're only dealt 1 card, round 10 you're dealt 10 cards, and there's going to be that number of tricks that you're trying to win, and you have to place a bet on how many of those tricks you're going to potentially win. And man, something about it just, the fun, the laughter that happens. This plays up to 8 players, so you can have it as a party game. It's just so good. I can't get enough of this one. The special powers that you add to this game, you can kind of, for experienced players, you can add everything in there. For newer players, you can just play with the pirates and not even have the pirate powers, and everybody's still going to have a blast. So you can scale it depending on your player's account, but also the ability of your players too. This is a fun one. It's, again, not the best trick-taking game in my collection, but this is the one that I want to play all the time. That's why I have it high up there. And I don't think, in my list, it's not always the best game for each category, but this is the one that I want to play. I want to teach other people. I'm more excited to get to the table with players. Yeah, Skulking hits it for me.
Wow, I don't even have a true trick taker on there. And I think that's probably lying to myself. I probably should get a trick taker, at least in the top 25. So I'm going to have to reevaluate this list later. I don't even know what I would say is my favorite. Maybe Rebel Princess would be my favorite of all of them. But I love Skulking. I just discovered it in 2025. Shout out to Grandpa Beck's Games. I got the expansion pack. Have you played with the expansion yet?
I have not yet, but okay. I have it right here. It hasn't even opened it yet. But I have it here. Beautiful. I did order it a couple weeks back.
That's great. Yeah, I love it. I have all the Grandpa Beck's Games. Skulking is great. I think my only gripe with it is it's fiddly to like score. You have to score like every single turn.
Correct.
But I think as complex as it can feel for someone who's never played a trick taker, if you have played a trick taker, you're going to pick it up right away. And if you've played a single trick taker, maybe not like a super experience with it, it grows with you. This is what I always love to talk about. In round 1, you're playing 1 card. In round 2, you play 2 cards. Yeah. And they give you other ways to play, but it just goes all the way up to that 8 or 9 cards. And I think it's so great. I just played this as a recent dad weekend. My if you're listening to this for the first time, welcome, thank you. But my group of friends, we call ourselves the dads, and we meet up, a couple times a year, and we, big groups, and we played a raucous game of Skulking, and it was an absolute blast. So shout out to that one. That's good. Love that. Okay. All right, my number 7 has dropped significantly here, but it is still a game I love. I think it is a beloved game. Maybe not as much attention as it used to get here. This is a Tom Lehman design, 2.66 weight for 2 to 4 players, and that is Res Arcana from 2019. Yeah,
great pick.
And great. And Sandcastle Games is the publisher. I have everything for this game. So I have the Lux E Tenebrate, which is like the Light and Darkness expansion. I have the Pearl expansion, and I have Res Arcana Duo. I have all of those put into sleeves and in my main box, and so I love that about the game, that I can fit everything in there. I did have to get rid of the insert. It's a bummer. But this is an engine building game through and through, generic fantasy. We talked about this last episode, but I just love that it is a tight game where every turn you take 1 action. So when you're playing 2-player, this plays so fast. 2-player is really the preferred way to play, and tapping cards like Magic. You are gaining resources. You collect resources at the beginning of the round. You have these magic items. You are vying for these big cards in the middle. You might spend gold on the monuments. You might spend other essences on the places of power is what they're called. Yep. You have an asymmetric mage. It is so great. Sometimes it can really ramp up fast. Sometimes it can be slow. But it just always feels tight because it is a race. And that is something that I think a lot of games are. It is the first player to 10 points, or I think 13 now when you have every expansion in there. Once you have the Pearl expansion, it goes up to 13, I believe. And so it always feels tight. I like it at 3 players. I think some people really prefer it at 2, but 3 is my ideal player count. And then the only other thing I like to talk about this is I've played this game so much that I really prefer the draft. I think it's totally okay to just deal out 10 cards to your deck because that's it. You only get a 10-card deck. There's no adding, there's no deck building or anything. You just got to work with what you're given. I like that, but I prefer the draft, especially if you want to be competitive with the game, which again, not a lot of games, like I said, I don't play always to win, but me and all my friends play this game enough that we want to play it seriously, so we usually draft our deck and play it. And it just distills that engine building down to such a nice thing with a nice painted on theme, arguably. I mean, I think the more you play it, the cooler. Like, there's the golden lion, and it just looks like Aslan. The mermaid can like dive deep and put an essence on any other component you have in front of you. There's a lot of cool things. It's more thematic than people think. But I really love this game, and I don't think I could see it dropping to maybe 10 to 15 because there's so many great games. It used to be as high as 3 on my list, actually. But I still love it so much. Res Arcana, my number 7 now.
Yeah, this is a game that I want to get the physical copy to my table more. I've played it on BGA. I think you and I have played it on BGA a couple times as well.
we should get a turn-based game. Yeah, let's
go.
Do you draft? Have you ever drafted?
Yes, I have.
Okay, we're gonna do draft. It's a heated. If you want to comment below, let me know if you prefer draft or not. I've definitely had some interesting debates about it. I think draft is the best way to play.
But this is one that I added to my collection simply for my love of San Juan, the tableau building game of San Juan. You've heard it many times before. And again, we talked about in the last episode my love for fantasy, and I was like, oh, this is first time I played it. This was fantasy tableau building San Juan, and I was like, I got to teach this to my wife, and I haven't taught her yet, but I think we'll eventually, hopefully, get it to the table one day. It won't leave my collection simply because I enjoy it so much. But that's Res. On to my number 6, which will be my last one for this episode. And this game just smacked me in the face when I played it because I said, I don't play solo. Many people know that. But sometimes when I learn a game, if I don't really grasp it, either maybe reading the rule book or watching a video on how to play, I will set it up solo and I will start to play a couple turns so I have it ready for that game night. And that's what I was doing. I was preparing for a game night. I played it solo. Then I immediately played it solo again. And then I immediately played it solo again. And this game...
You've told me about this. Oh, I want to guess, but I can't think of it. I can't think of it. Go for it.
40 to 160 minutes. It was a 2024 design. It was mentioned earlier today. I love space theme. And this is SETI. Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. And man... I remember years ago people said, oh, Terraforming Mars is that game you got to play, engine building and the dual, cards. You can do different things with cards. You can play it for this, you can use it for that. And SETI this is like everything that I wanted, like Terraforming Mars to be, like for me, like people saying, oh, you got to say it's one of the greatest games ever. SETI gave me that feeling of what I was let down in or going into playing Terraforming Mars, and I didn't expect anything from this. I had got a review copy of this, and I was like, oh, this is the buzz. But sometimes I'm at the point that I'm just not all in the hotness. I've got to play it to really see what it's about. And man, table presence on this is stunning. Yes, it's daunting when you look at it. It's going to scare some people off because of how many components are in this game, how large the deck of cards is. And this is on my list at number 6 without the expansion that released this year, because I have not played it yet, and Space Agencies is on the shelf right behind me, and me and my game group haven't gotten it to the table, and I think it's going to climb very fast just because of what Prelude does for terraforming Mars. I think this is what it's going to do, adding that asymmetric player powers and like different starting elements to get you ramped up and kind of like shorten the game up by a turn. This is a game I think about all the time, and I don't play solo, and I want to play the game solo soon. It's just too good. Going out there, launching your satellites, your probes into space there, to be able to try and discover these extraterrestrials. And what's so cool is the game, it's a variable setup where you're gonna have two different aliens that are gonna come out, and you don't discover them until you actually have enough to have discovered. And when they reveal and you have that, figure out, okay, how's that going to now change the game? And was I set up for this? And then you flip over the other one later in the game, and the game starts to really ramp up, and you're like, oh, this game is good. But then when those life forms present themselves, the game even ramps up even more. It's this one that there's no reason. That's why I had this as one of those number 2. I knew it was talked about heavy. Everybody was talking about this one, and I think maybe it's not as heavy for a lot of people because it's such a heavier game. But yeah, SETI.
Yep, I really don't have much to add. I've only played this like 2 or 3 times. I really enjoy this game. I would like to play it solo. I do think that is one really underrated piece about solo, is that you can legitimately learn a game well, even if you don't know all the multiplayer stuff. You get a much better understanding of the game by playing it solo, and then you can teach it better for people and bring them in. That's a big thing. But I will just say, we talked about theme just last episode, and sci-fi is something I don't love. And so Terraforming Mars never really drew to me, but my buddy Phil loves it, so we've played it many, many times. He's much better than me at it, and I would play SETI 10 out of 10 times over it. It is the better version of that same feeling in even a quicker package. For me, at least, I feel like when we've played it faster. I've heard people take a really long time to play this game, but I think at 2 or 3 it's great, which is the same you should play Terraforming Mars. You really probably shouldn't go but more than 3 for TM2. I think it's a great game also, but SETI is way up there for me. Love that. I don't know where it is on my list. I don't think I actually ranked it this year, but it probably will make it into my top 50. So yeah, great choice, SETI. Awesome. All right, the final pick of the episode here, and this is probably my most, I don't want to say divisive, but yeah, the game that I champion the most. I love this game. I have played it literally over 100 times. It is my number 6. It is probably this is the one I thought would be the lightest on our top 10s total, but it's a 1.8. And that is Challengers! 2022, designed by Johannes Krenner and Marcus, I don't want to mess it up, Marcus S. I'm just not going to butcher it, buddy. One More Time Games, Z-Man Games, they publish it. There is a follow-up to this game called Beach Cup. I have both, and so you can play them. They integrate with each other. This is a auto battler, is what it is called. This comes from the video game world. I could not tell you how much I love this game. I have many times. I'm working on a script right now talking about this game, and I'm going to dedicate a video to this game because the two really popular games in this genre dropped in 2024, those being Fliptoons and Tag Team. Both of those games came out this year and got all this hype, and all these people were hating on Challengers 3 years ago, and now everybody's loving Fliptoons and Tag Team, and Challengers walked so that these games could run, and I'm saying it definitively right here. I love this game. It is the same thing. So it's got this tournament gameplay style. So you can play it solo, which is actually totally fine. I've played it more times solo than I would like to admit, but it really shines at even count. So it really should be played at 4, 6, or 8, in my opinion, because what happens is there are 4 neoprene mats, and you can play 4 concurrent matches. So 8 people can play at the same time simultaneously. Whoever wins gets a trophy. And then you move up, get up off the table, and you go to another spot at the table and play a new person. Just like a TCG tournament. It feels so much like when I was 13 years old, I'd go to a game shop, which is so crazy looking back. Like, I never thought I'd be a board gamer, but I used to go to these game shops or card shops. We called them card shops growing up. I went to the card shop, and I'd bring my Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and I'd play a tournament of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'd play 4 or 5 matches. And that's what you do with this. The thing is that every round, you look at 5 cards, and you can add 1 or 2 cards, depending on the round number, to your deck. And there's an A deck of like lighter, easier cards, then there's a B deck of cards, and then there's the C deck of cards, which are really, really powerful. And so every single time you're just getting this, you're managing your deck. It's really a deck management game, not a deck building game. You're managing your deck, pulling things out, and then you're going to flip them from the top, kind of like War, like the classic card game War, against your opponent. And there's all these synergies, and there's things that happen when they are flipped up. There's things that happen when you win the flag. There's things that happen when you lose the flag. There's a bench, which is the most important mechanic. And if your card is on the bench, there's some powers that have from the bench, powers that buff up all your cards. The bench has 6 slots, and it can only hold the same name. So if I have a newcomer card that comes out, it goes to the first slot of the bench. And then if I have the dog come out, it goes to the second slot of the bench. If I have a 7th unique named card come out, I lose. I bench out. I have no worse spots for that. But if I have another newcomer that comes out, it'll go in the same seat on that bench. And so there's this management of the bench, there's management of your deck, and finding synergies, and you play 7 rounds, and then the people with the 2 most stars at the end of 7 rounds, they play against each other in a final match, and everybody around the table watches it. I love it so much. I can't get enough of it. I'm screaming at the mountaintops. The thing that's funny is on Board Game Arena, this game is beloved. Like, it is always being played. It has, and again, this is probably why I have over 100 plays of this game, because I played a lot on Board Game Arena. And so I just think in real life, it's divisive. It's not for you. It's not for you. This is the bean soup theory again. If it's not for you, but just stay tuned on my channel. Probably the second, not the next video, but the video after that is going to be you should be playing Challengers. If you like Tag Team or Flip Tunes, you should go back and try Challengers, because this is the game that started this in the board game world. Video games have been doing auto battlers for years. But now in the board game world, like, gosh, man, it's just, I wish I could be louder. My number 6, Challengers. I love it. I think the top 5 games on my list are very straightforward. I think you're going to expect some of these. I don't think there's any more ones that I need to like champion, but Challengers, I love this game. I love this game. If you've never given it a chance, try it and then play it like 5, 10 more times. If you don't like it at 10 plays, whatever. But it's one of those that just, it sings with more and more plays, which is very few and far between in my collection, at least. So Challengers.
Yeah, this is one that I have to play. I know my buddy Dave is a big fan of this one. And he said, Jazz, I think you'll really enjoy this game. But I haven't played this. I haven't played Flip Tunes, and I have not played Tag Team. And I know the latter 2 have been well beloved this past year. But again, as much as you talk about this one, I've got to learn this one. I'm going to be having a game day very soon with, I think, 4 to 6 players. And I think I'm going to recommend my buddy Dave to bring this, because I think I want to get it to the table. So,
and definitely learn it in person or learn it real time. It really is a great implementation of Board Game Arena. It is not meant to be played turn-based. So yeah, I would love to hear what you think. Please report back if you do play it, because it's just one of those games. I feel like I'm like screaming into the void sometimes. Like I did my top 10, and I remember like a couple comments were like, "Man, I really love your numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but I don't get Challengers. I just can't. I'm surprised that's on the list." And so it doesn't actually fit into the rest of my ones, but there's just something about this game, man. It's just special, and I love it.
Awesome. So I think we're going into the
that's it.
That's our last one.
Okay.
But yeah, but we got to go talk about those 2 games. In La Mesa, we're going to switch it up with 2 games, right? That we think would potentially have that ability to
maybe
creep up into this top 10, right? I have 2 games.
Same.
Now, these 2 games, one of them is newer to me. Not new at all. And then the other game is, I would say, is a newer game. I want to play it more. I love it. The first one, the newer game, this is Fromage. This is a game I feel like the more that I play, I'll be able to uncover whether or not this game has that staying power with the variability. Will it get stale? I understand it has a lot of variability, but sometimes there's just these things that some games that even with the variability, they feel stale after a set number of plays. And I don't think I have enough plays, in person at least, to really tell whether or not that is going to be the case with this. But everyone that I've sat down at the table with has enjoyed it. The next game on my list is a very old favorite of many people. This probably is on many people's top 10s, probably many people's top 5s. is probably in Reggie's top 5. This game is Castles of Burgundy. I got the special edition earlier this year, played it for the first time this year, and fell in love with this game. It's a game that I want to get to the table more. It's a game that I played many years ago when it had the old art, and I was like, okay, I guess maybe it just didn't click that day. It probably was the bad day to learn the game. But this is one I know a lot of people play this as like a couples game, 2-player, and they love it. This is their go-to game. That's another reason why I added this game to my collection. But yeah, I'm really excited to get some more castles in.
Ooh, baby. You can tell I'm wiggling over here with excitement. I'm going to say Castles of Burgundy Special Edition, no comment. Maybe we'll hear about that in a future episode. Fromage is a great game, and I love it. I played it for the first time at Dice Tower West, and I got to shout out, actually, a new friend, local friend named Brittany. She has a collection of 600 games, not to out you, doxing you, Brittany here, but she showed me at my local game group, showed me her limited edition fully decked out Formaggio like last week, and we are going to play it next time we get together, and I'm so excited because if I like that, I am buying it because it's the Italian one. My wife is Italian, so I think we could get Formaggio could be one that could be our next viticulture. Really, I think it really, in my mind, it could be like that next like weeknight, but it still gives you satisfaction, so great choices. Okay, my two, I'll do it in the same order as you. Currently, this is my number 24. And I've only played this about 4 times, and it is from Leader Games. I held my tongue when you talked about Ahoy. This is Arcs. So this is that 2024. Yeah. Has a trick-taking management or trick-taking mechanism, but it's really for an area control game. I've only played the base game. I haven't even played with the Leaders in Lore, which I have. And I have definitely not played with the giant box of the Blighted Reach campaign. But like I foresee, if I do get to play this campaign, or I do find a group to play this weekly, like this will shoot up even more. It's already in my top 25 after a handful of plays. I think it is an awesome, awesome game. Arcs is definitely get a shout out. Then my number 12, right after King Domino, currently is the Unmatched game system. And I wanted to give this one a shout out for the En La Mesa because I just received my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles box, and I have not played it yet. It's 1 to 4 players on there. It's huge, and all 4 of those characters can be played normally too. And I think playing the cooperative version, being able to play Unmatched solo, and then also being able to add 4 of my favorite IP characters ever, the Turtles, I think this has potential to crack into my top 10. I don't know what it would replace, but I just play, every time the dads get together, we play a big Unmatched tournament. We had a great time recently, and I have 4 new characters to throw in there with us, and I'm going to be able to play this solo. So I think I foresee Unmatched, even though it's an older game, I think because of this new box, this potentially could rise in my estimation. But 12 is pretty high already. So Arcs and Unmatched are the 2 I want to shout out there.
Yeah, awesome picks. Yeah, I need to get some more Unmatched to the table. I know you and I have talked about finding ways to get Unmatched played more. I know there's a digital implementation. I know it's had its pluses and minuses, had some issues and things like that. So, but yeah, I've got to get Unmatched to the table some more because I do enjoy it. I have enjoyed my plays of it. I just haven't played enough of it. But yeah, I do love it. Great picks, Reg.
Wow.
Great picks.
Wow. I can't believe it. We did a great on time. Thank you, Jazz, already just for editing these in advance. We're going to have 2 weeks here or so, a couple weeks, you will see our top 5 to 1. So stay tuned. Please reach out, comment on YouTube, comment on Spotify. Send us an email at boardstatespod@gmail.com if you want to share your 10 to 6, just 10 to 6 with us, and we'll share some out. That'll be really fun to talk about in La Gente section. So let us know what your picks are. And Jazz, will you thank our people and close us out?
Yeah, this is fun, Reg. I can't wait to get into those top 5. But yeah, we always want to give a shout out to you guys, the listeners, but also first and foremost, our podcast music from my buddy Judge, aka at Dre the Producer over on Instagram, and of course our buddy Kenan at Punchboard Cathedral over on Instagram, and on the podcast at Punchboard Cathedral. Go check them out. But also thanks to you guys for always listening to us talk about the best hobby in the world, board games, because you could be spending your time anywhere else doing many other things, but you're here choosing to listen to us here on Board States, the podcast where friends become rivals and the board states decide the outcome. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Nos vemos.